Good day, everyone, and we're here doing the Women's Pelvic Restoration and Disease Prevention lecture. We are starting the Masterclass tomorrow in Airdrie, and we came tonight to answer questions and then talk a little bit about what the pelvic restoration is and what prevention also looks like. So I'm Alicia, and I'm a master practitioner and master trainer with Dr. Detox, and with me is Serena. She is the creator of the course as far as putting together the East modalities and then taking Daryl's stuff and having it be seamless for the most powerful course that you will actually experience, period. And then there is Simran and Lorraine. Hi. You want to talk a little bit?
Okay. First of all, welcome and thank you for giving up your time to listen to us, help us answer your questions, and I look forward to. I don't know how many of you are here for the course tomorrow? 2. And the others, okay. By the end of the evening, you will all be on the course, but there's no more room. It's filled.
It is filled. We did
wait till next time.
We have one more person just come walking right in. Welcome, welcome.
Hello.
And I'm quite excited. I've not been to Calgary, so this is the first time. The reason why we are doing this is because why I got myself involved with this. I followed Daryl for a couple of years before I came to Ixtapa, when he moved lock, stock and barrel to Ixtapa, Mexico. And then he started this healing center, and we did the course. And I do not go there with the intention to teach. I went there in the intention to heal myself and learn, and then bring it back home. And then, like he said, when you go back home, shut your mouth. Because when you go back home, you tell everyone about it, you have no more friends or family members left by the time you lecture everybody about how great and what you can do, etc. So I just keep my mouth shut, just observe everybody's movements, how they walk, how they talk, and observe the face, the eyes, and all that. I learned a lot that way through people's blockages in the system. And what I learned in the BraveHeart Nation classes and all that was, you can heal yourself. We know that. We all know that, but no one drums it into your head. And when we can reverse the irreversible. And the powerful thing about it is that the healing is within us. When I did a lot of courses, studying Pilates, Yin Yoga, pelvic restoration classes from other countries, the Ayurvedic way, the Tao way, the Buddhism way, the Thomas Meyer way, Eric Franklin's way, who else is that? Anyway, you name them, I've been through all of them. I went all over the world to study the course. It did not click until I came to Ixtapa and I did the whole life course, the Wolf non-surgical. And then I did a very basic, we did a pelvic course by a lady who taught us in Ixtapa. And I realized, holy moly, I can do this. I can put all that I've learned together and present a better course, a course that's amazing, that will help women to align themselves with the sexual energy. We have the most powerful healing energy within us. It's right here, lying here, sitting here, dormant, sleeping, because we are sleeping. We don't use it, we don't give it gratitude, we take it for granted. So in Yin Yoga, we are taught to look into yourself, talk to your organs, giving gratitude to your organs and your joints. In Taoism, in the Taoist therapy, we learn about giving gratitude and thanking, taking power from Mother Earth, from nature, from the energy around you, sending it back into your sexual energy, into your pelvic region. And then you circulate it and you bring it back up for healing, for your own rejuvenation and regeneration, developing inner beauty, outer glow. So when Dr. Daryl came up with this magical potion of vaginal infusion, I knew all these things. This next thing I did was, let me try infusion. I had some vaginal pain issue. I think it was like an infection. I was not comfortable, so I called him. I said, hey, I've got this issue. Try the vaginal infusion. It had just come out. So I tried it after 2 days. In fact, the first time I used it, the pain went away. And then second or third day, I had no more issue. And I thought, oh wow, this is magic. So that's when I opened my mouth. Hey, I think all of you women should try this vaginal infusion. It's amazing. And in my home country, there's a word we use for vagina, and it's CB, right? So I said, hey, how's your CB? Is it good? Dry? What? If it's dry, this is it. You're going to try that. And cut a long story short, I've been using that a lot for myself, and I've been recommending to people. And it's quite a powerful infusion that he has created. Again, I always say, I don't know how he knows. He's a male, but anyway, we got it from the benefit of Daryl's concoction. We've got a very powerful healing infusion for us. So in this course, many have asked me, what is so different about your course from other courses? Yes, you can go on Google, YouTube, Instagram and learn. There are lots of pelvic courses online. You can go anywhere, and even if you're buying a tool for your sexual play or pleasure, they teach you courses. There are courses online to teach you about pelvic health as well. But the powerful thing is that from my own experience, learning from Daryl's whole life course, Perfect Day, with non-surgical, the icing on the cake is the pelvic course, the pelvic restoration and disease prevention masterclass. That's how I find it. And when I shared that information with him, I said, this is powerful. We've got to do this. And so it started. What I've done is I then went on to study more about, I dabbled in a bit of Tai Chi and Tao movement many years ago. When I was going to teach that course, I went back into it again, into a deeper level to say, oh, I've learned that, but I do not know how to put it into practice. Putting the West and the East together is what I did. There was protocol, from the BraveHeart Nation protocol, along with the Taoism, the Buddhism, and the Ayurvedic studies that I've learned, to put them together for this course. And I find that it's quite powerful. So the goal here is for you to have full alignment and to obtain orgasm within yourself. You giving gratitude to yourself, and you love yourself so much. It's orgasmic. That's what it is. That's why the orgasm is, because you are in love with yourself, and you have the power within you to heal yourself. And in this course, it's the first step for you to learn how to observe, honor, respect yourself from here, because this is the door, this is the gateway of life. This is the main one. Life and death begins here. Life begins here and death begins here. Everything happens from here.
Disease begins right there.
Yeah. So these three girls here are amazing consultants. They do Perfect Day Consultation, Perfect Consultation. So if you want to start your journey on self-healing and you feel that you need to start it right away, one of them can give you a consultation to help you on your journey. And there's a whole list of library books in the Doctorate Detox library for you to fill your years with information. And it's all free. Yeah, and it's free. So I think I've said enough. Is there anything, question you guys want to ask about the course or anything? Otherwise, I'll pass it on to Alicia, who has got a mind full of information as well. Is that we can come back to the course again about what I talked about, because you will sit there and think, okay, I have something. So you don't have to ask everything now. And when the questions come up, feel free to ask anything specific, because I'll let Alicia speak, and then Simran and so on. And then I'll come back to the before I finish up, I have something I want to say. This is interesting. I always quote this, and I found another quote. The feminine heals when she stops performing for others and starts living her life for herself. She heals as she turns the focus inward, no longer worrying about how others perceive her. She conserves her energy by grounding into her body, settling into her heart space, and honoring the present moment. This is how she becomes a frequency match for what is meant for her. This is how she opens to receive. This is by Laura Grant. And then we have this. What is a wounded woman? She's manipulative. She drowns in emotions. She wants to be saved. She lacks self-worth. She sacrifices herself. She has no boundaries. She becomes easily attached. A wounded woman. What is a healed woman? She's compassionate. She controls her feelings. She feels self-confident. She loves herself. She attends to her needs. She attends to her needs. She sets personal boundaries. And she remains self-sufficient. Don't we all want to be that healed woman? You're in the right space and you're coming to learn about the right course that will help you to heal yourself. And really, there will be some demonstration of a movement surgical if we have time. These three ladies, I do that too. But
and if we have a volunteer.
I do have a volunteer. So, so we have lots of stuff going on for this course, and we move it according to the energy of the course participants. So don't feel that, I don't know, no. Never fear about anything when you come in the course, and you just relax, do what you can do. Alicia was in the last class with me in Barry. We had amazing,
a more advanced class for sure from some of the.
We had 15, 12 women, 12 women.
12.
One lady could not sit on the floor at all for how many years? Is that 12, 15 years?
Yeah.
After day 2 of the exercises, she was sitting for the whole day. She was so impressed with herself. And then we had a lady who couldn't do, what was she? She couldn't squat.
Yeah.
Could not squat. Never could squat. And went all the way down on day 2. It was just amazing because we encourage you to breathe. Your breath, the breath is the most powerful healing source of energy connection you have. Focus on the breath, connect with the breath. And so we had a lot of aha moments in the course. Hello. Hi. Nice to meet you. Alicia's friend. Is she your friend?
Yeah, well, we met at the other lectures as well. In Airdrie, yeah.
Ah.
Yeah.
Right. So anyway, Alicia has got, so I have had, let me just go back to my medical system. I have had 2 cesareans. I had, so scar tissues, etc. is bound to be around. Alicia has a baby and she has?
I needed some restoration, just toning things back up afterwards. I noticed a big difference having been an athlete and having a fairly tight pelvis to begin with, that if I had known things here that I learned in this course with practicing with Serena, that would have made my childbirth so much easier and quicker. And then the recovery process a lot quicker as well. Even the little bit of rectus diastasis, or the splitting of the rectus abdominis, which is almost completely healed now with working on the exercises that are in the course. So there's just a lot of powerful things to empower you to facilitate the healing your body's already capable of. The medical system has really worked hard to have you believe that you can't heal and you need to supplement with petroleum byproducts or alter your hormones to suppress symptoms, but they never address the root cause. And if you address the root cause, your body can and will restore balance, because that's all it's trying to do anyway. So when you're ready to take massive personal action and start to nurture, care for, and learn to honor your temple, then the pelvic restoration course, whether it is for prevention, which Simran really connects with prevention, or whether it's restoration, you have the roadmap and the tools to utilize to restore your vitality and your youth, should you choose it, or preserve your youth, should you choose to.
It's ready. It's for you. We are so brainwashed into this taboo subject topic. Nobody dares to talk about it. But it's the most important part of our physical anatomy. Spiritual, emotional. It's here, and here. And this lies at the bottom because this holds everything in here. So many of the one of the days I spoke about is you have stress here, you send it down to the heart, and it gets hidden down here. When it stays down here, doesn't get addressed, scar tissue starts to form, crystallization, blockages, and then you have, oh, doctor, I have a cyst. Doctor gives you a medication, antibiotics.
Or a cut.
Many times, and many of these issues can be resolved by yourself, with the right understanding and the right alignment for yourself, with the right perfect day protocol, breathing, exercises. Exercise, movement is something we have to do. We cannot not move. Movement is what we're born to do. We have to move. So it's important, even if it's just walking 20 minutes a day, a couple of stretching. But once you've come to the course and you learn a few exercises for pelvic restoration, there are many. Yoga, yin yoga, Iyengar yoga, Ashtanga, all kinds of yoga, there are many. But many, when you attend yoga classes, usually it's a big class. And oftentimes, I notice people engage the wrong muscles. And the teachers do not have time to go around each one with, how long you want to engage this? There is no time. And so you keep doing the same thing yourself repetitively. So what happens? You develop lower back pain because you're holding in your abdominal, or you're clenching your butt instead of doing an upward draw, or instead of working your PC muscles. You're moving, and then you're holding in too much, too long, your pelvic bone, your pelvic muscles. Then you create pain in the pelvis, pain in the back. So all that can be created by doing the wrong kind of exercise as well. So it's important. So we teach you very simple, that you can manage yourself at home. There's no fuss, and then as you practice, you understand how your body works. And the most non-surgical studies that you do, you understand the anatomy. We go through the anatomy of the body as well. So for women who want to heal themselves, who want to get their life back, their power back, we have so much power. We are the most powerful people on earth, women. We have amazing power energy. The most powerful energy is your sexual energy. And that is what can heal you. And before we started, when we first met in Extava, I gave the girls each a jade egg. I said, go back to your room and play with that toy.
A what?
A jade egg. Yoni egg.
So they did. And each of them had a different experience. You want to talk about it?
What I did is I was rushing. I just finished a consultation and then I had to meet Serena, and I was like, I'm supposed to have this in. So I just kind of popped it in like you would a tampon. And then taking in the course and doing like a proper insertion, I felt the difference in the energy and like what you're supposed, like taking the proper steps before inserting it. I felt the difference, like just mindlessly rushing and just doing it versus doing it mindfully. Made a huge difference.
And the
Connecting
attention.
with the energy.
Yeah.
The ceremony and attention.
Always connecting yourself with the energy around you, taking and giving gratitude and asking for permission for another something to go into your body is very important, because all around us is healing energy, and it's our privilege. We're given the energy. We have the right to take it and heal ourselves with it. Don't be shy. It's all around you. Heal yourself with it, right? But by breathing and connecting your mind to your breath and allowing the healing to take place is important.
And the 12 self-loving steps really do help with that. We
so
cover
we'll go
that.
through the 12 loving steps. We'll go to a perfect day lifestyle. And what else we go through? We did
The exercise.
The exercise.
But really,
Yeah.
it's a four-pronged approach. It's working on the nutritional level, the emotional level, like the physical exercise level, and then the nutraceuticals. So when you're actually applying vaginal infusions, you're doing ultimate coffee enemas and learning what the benefits of those are for actually house cleaning. Because when you insert the vaginal infusion, you're actually getting 1,000% more absorption of those nutraceuticals in the area where the fire is for most of us, particularly as we get along in our years, because we're not taught how to do proper self-care. And then if we are doing self-care, most of the time it's not with that self-love intention. It's more just like, oh, I have to do this. And that plays a factor in how productive those self-care steps are, wouldn't you say, Maureen?
Right. So she was saying about, so one of the issues for pelvic issues is aging. We all age, it's natural. Childbirth, the lifestyle, what you eat, and non-movement, your mobility. Are you moving? Are you doing exercises?
Are you stagnant?
Yeah. And if you're not, what are you eating? And how much are you defecating? As well, all that cause pelvic issues if you don't excrete and you don't eat the right stuff. When you're young, yeah, sure, you can manage it, but as you get older, body does not function as well and as fast as when you're younger. So we encourage, we learn about coffee enema, which there's a bucket there. There are a couple of samples of stuff that
there's products for the vaginal infusion
and the product for the vaginal infusion as well. So is there anything else that I think I'm speaking too much? Let me.
I will say, because you mentioned when you're younger, it's easier to manage. I didn't manage anything, and I'm 26, and I did have Daryl work on my low back in the Whole Life Coach course here in Airdrie, and he was like, he was not impressed with me because I've never practiced squats. I just started a year ago, like learning about the pelvic activation squats, and yeah, it was. I made him work to like open it up, and I was pretty calcified down there, and I'm only 26. So I will say, if you're young, you want to be mindful in doing these things, because I've done the ultimate coffee enemas, I've done the vaginal infusions, but if you're not maintaining the squats and keeping everything mobile and like getting the wolf down, so in my case, I need to get more work of the wolf down surgical done, but
she said,
you can't
maintenance.
Yeah.
Pelvic health is lifetime maintenance.
Yeah.
It's not one time and done.
It's just like everything
lifetime
else.
Maintenance. It's like everything else. Yeah.
You know, if you don't do it, you lose it, right? We want to be able to do it for the rest of our life. So let's get to it and just do
Lorraine
it.
herself had so many surgeries.
I was floored when I actually sat down and counted how many surgeries I've had through my life, and I've had 18 surgeries, 7 of them in the pelvic area.
Wow.
7 because of cancer, and then 4 because of lumps and bumps. And when I look at the information that we've got in our hands here, none of it, everything could have been something that I could have overcome had I had the information back then.
Amazing, right? You could have avoided 18 surgeries if you had that information in your hands when you were that young.
Yes.
Anyone out there listening to this is amazing. And we do not need surgeries because we can heal ourselves. Come to the right place and you will learn the truth about self-healing. Lorraine.
When we really anchor solid on all 4 of the pillars of the perfect day, so the diet, the nutraceuticals, the exercises, and the BraveHeart emotional work. You know, a lot of people will teach you need to diet. You need to diet, and then you go on a diet plan, and you maybe lose the inflammation, and as soon as you stop the diet, it starts
back
to creep
again.
back, right?
But the
And-
first
and
three
then-
letters spell die and diet. You want to have a lifestyle that's maintainable.
Exactly. And then some places will talk about nutraceuticals or supplements. Ours are nutraceuticals because they're high vibration. What the whole program does is it raises the vibration of the body. When you are in a highly inflammatory situation, and I was there, I didn't think I was, but I was. I remember going to the doctor and saying, oh, there's this, and this, and this. And, before long I was being cut and burned and poisoned and all of it. And going willingly because I didn't know any better.
Yeah.
And the more surgeries you have, the lower your vibration goes, right? Because you're buying into the medical side.
Mhm.
Well, you're
Which-
putting more blocks into the body with
Well,
every cut.
That too.
The
that too.
microcirculation is 74%.
But then there's the belief system too, right? If
Mhm.
my thinking is I need to go to the doctor and get this fixed because they know, right? If they know what this is called, they know how to fix it. That was my thought,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I mean,
You
that's
get a
what
name,
we were
you get a
taught.
fancy name.
Yeah, yeah. The
So-
Greek name.
An
most of
itis,
us-
whatever
The-
itis. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Inflammation.
even as I was going through all of that, I had this deep belief that my body could heal. And, that belief stuck with me. And then when I went through cancer and I started doing a deep dive into alternatives, I considered myself crunchy granola before then. And if you don't understand what that means, it means that I was cooking at home. Everything that I brought in was something that I made, or I wasn't buying Oreo cookies. But yes, there was wheat. Yes, there was dairy, and white sugar.
Inflammatory.
Yeah, exactly.
Inflammatory substances
Inflammatory.
that rob your body of the alkaline minerals, so that affects your electrical signaling, and ultimately it's one of the factors that influences the body chemistry, because the other part is the emotional side of things has a huge effect. If you go, I'm doing everything right, but I still have this, as far as my nutrition goes, then sometimes it's looking and turning it to the stories you're telling yourself and what your patterns of thinking are.
Yeah.
Because that's the other influence of the body terrain.
Yeah. I was 36 when I was diagnosed with cancer, and medical system didn't give me much hope. I had 2 young kids, and my thought was, oh my gosh, how is my husband going to be able to do that? He can't manage these guys, right? Not without me. And then my next thought was, okay, but some people did make it through, and some people live longer. So how did they do that? And that's when I took a deep dive into alternative and started choking down powdered greens, which really weren't as good as what they have, what's available now, and just switching a few things, because I always loved my fruits and vegetables. So it was an easy switch for me. And I, according to the medical system, I shouldn't be here. But here I am. I'm going to be 66 in November.
And they don't know.
And I'm a
they don't
grandmother of 14.
Wow.
With 1 great grandchild.
Wow.
I know.
Congratulations.
I know. And we all have the ability to shift. And if you don't do it now, well, when's a good time? Well, that would be now. And if you don't do it now, well, when is a good time? That would be now. Because, the time elapsed, right? I always have that opportunity to shift. So when are you going to do it? When are you going to grab onto that power that you have within? That's what we're lacking. We're not, we're not sitting around a group of women and discussing where our ultimate power for healing is. We're not doing that. This is things that was done a long time ago.
And it
You know,
was-
and it was passed down through generation to generation. I remember when I got my period, that was a curse. It wasn't a blessing. You know, it was a curse. I didn't want to have that happen to me. You know, so I did not have any connection to the pelvic area. I didn't. And, you know, when we first took the course, I was blown away how different I came out of that course. And I already was a master practitioner. Thought I was there. No, I wasn't, because I wasn't connected. You know, the power that we get, the strength that we get, the emotional strength, willpower, like everything comes into alignment when we can really honor, respect, and come back into our body all the way down to the pelvic area.
And consciously develop that intentional connection to you, the relationship with you.
And it's got to come from all four.
Yeah.
It's got to come from all four. I counsel so many people, and they'll do the diet, and some of them will do the nutraceuticals. They might, maybe do some exercises that I ask them to do. But that emotional stuff, that's no way, zero. And then they come back and say, well, I'm doing everything. Okay, tell me what you're doing. They're not doing the emotional work.
You haven't fallen in love with yourself yet.
No, this course will help you look into here, and then it pull out, and you deal with it slowly, bit by bit. You know, it doesn't all happen in 1 minute, but the more you do, the more you work with yourself, the more you look into yourself. And we bring on, I teach the inner smile meditation, a couple of exercises, and you always look to yourself, into yourself. The more you do that, I have people calling me and say, oh, I didn't realize I had this issue with me. I just did another infusion, I did another egg. I said, okay, great, that's great news. So I like that when they tell me, I did not know I was this, I was that, and all kinds of stuff. But it gets to the nitty-gritty of your trauma, of your what you perceive as trauma. You don't know you're hiding things down there. You don't know that you're hiding it. But let it out and in. And you find the inner growth, you'll be radiating outside. Your face will just light up. The causes of the people on the first day, second day, and the third day, their faces just look different.
You can see people come in like,
frowning.
you can see the weight of their life. Yeah, frightened. Or just
afraid,
like, yeah.
Apprehensive.
How many of you here,
Yeah.
Can I ask a question? How many of you here have pelvic issues? Okay, so 99.9%. Right. So this is what Dara wrote in the book. I won't ask what are the issues because it's personal, right? You can tell me the issues, we can talk about issues when you come to the course, and you can talk to each other about the issues, and hey, I had that, but I did this. And so that's why this course is great. We have a healing circle, we talk about issues and no boundaries, what works, what you went through, and etc. is discussed. You don't want to, you can, it's up to you, but we bring it out there. So what Dara wrote in the book, in the whole last book, is over 33 million women in North America suffer from chronic pelvic pain. I think it should be over 100 million.
Pretty much everybody. It's everybody.
He is wrong. His record is old, right?
Yeah.
So why have women accepted this nagging and even excruciating pain as a normal way of life?
Because they were
Why?
told.
Simply indoctrination. We have all been programmed to serve the needs of corporate America. Stabbing pain in the pelvis is not normal. It's not normal. Waddling is not normal. We're not born as ducks. We're human
Waddling,
beings.
yeah.
We walk, we don't waddle. Prolapse, urine leakage, and painful love making is not normal. How can we protect and strengthen our pelvic floor? come join us. We'll show you, we'll teach you, we'll share with you what we know, what we've learned. And this is the 4th course. Every time we do a course, more people are sharing. We learn so much from each other. We share with you, and the learning continues. And the sharing spreads. And the more we learn, the more you learn, the more you get, and the more you get let go. It's so amazing. So we have, what did we have the last time? We had a lady who's not able to even, in this course we do the yoni egg. You're asking what's the egg? The jade egg insertion. People are asking what's so different about your course. Yes, we bring in the Taoist egg insertion, and one of them could not even put the small one inside. So she's not used that part. She said, but I do to pee, right? So what our pelvis is for pee, poo, support our organs, our digestive tract, our urinary, everything. It supports all the organs down there, and then it supports our posture, and it helps with defecation, and helps with urination, and it helps with sexual pleasure, right? So all that is, in a nutshell, the power of the pelvis. Because without the strong pelvis, you're not able to function, you're not able to walk. And without the strength of the pelvis, you're not able to have fun, laugh. Belly laughter, you can't. Oh, I can't laugh because you're going to leak. You have incontinence. Or without the pelvic power, you can't enjoy life because you have to find. People are saying to me, are we going to go on that long bus trip? I can't go because I have to pee every 5 minutes. Or I can't go to that restaurant because I don't know where the toilets are. I have to find out where the toilets are. So that's a life hindrance, pleasure hindrance, fun. You can't walk, you can't squat, you can't sit, you can't stand. So the pelvis is so important. It's probably the mother of the health of a woman. Our root chakra lies there for emotional, spiritual, and physical energy. Everything comes from the pelvis.
And the emotional is so powerful, how it influences the pelvis.
Yes, she can attest to that one.
I really can. I've observed it in people close to me, and then I can even relate to how it affected me personally, like throughout my 20s, because I had higher anxiety, and letting go was an issue. So when you do the BraveHeart emotional work, you do learn the art of letting go and not making mountains out of molehills.
Even if they were mountains, though.
Yeah.
What are you hanging on to a mountain for?
Exactly.
It's not serving you. Matter of fact,
No.
it's making it so you've got your chain, right? You're hanging on so tight to the mountain.
Yeah.
You know, no.
It's keeping you immobilized.
Yeah, let it go.
Yeah.
And we don't even need to know what the mountain looked like or how it happened. All we have to do is let it go.
You tell a story long enough and strong enough, it becomes your reality. So you've got to start also paying attention to those stories that we're playing on repeat, because it's pulling that same energy into your future. And that's actually just part of the being present is what a lot of the emotional work is, and noticing where you're going, because most of us, we're conscious for 2 to 5% of the day, if we're lucky, consciously choosing what we're doing. The rest of it, we're running on our subconscious autopilot, and it's not serving us. So then it's checking in and seeing, okay, what are the ways that I'm like unconsciously poisoning myself with my thoughts? Am I going around judging other people, or am I observing? There's a big difference.
Yeah. And like Serena was talking about earlier, the breath, it really is the first thing that's going to take you out or bring you back.
Yeah.
It is. So when you can come back to your breath, it's going to give you a better connection to not just your body, but your spirit, your heart, and your higher self. And when we have that really good connection, our vibe goes up. It goes up. All we have to do is slow our breathing down. You know, when you can, Dr. Wolf recommends 6 seconds in, 7 seconds out. We always want that out breath to be 1 second longer, because it's the out breath that connects us to the parasympathetic nervous system, which is our calm, rest, and repair. most people, when they're breathing throughout life, nobody's even thinking about how they're breathing. It's just in and out, right? I don't know how I'm
Short
breathing.
and
I just
shallow.
know I'm breathing because I'm
just
still alive.
it's
right?
It's free, right? It's given to us.
But it's powerful.
How you,
Powerful. You can go from a state of high anxiety to calm in a matter of a few minutes. Just slow your breathing down. Connect to your heart. Bring it down into that pelvic area. Our powerhouse for healing. You know, just slow down. Give yourself permission not to be on that hamster wheel all day, all night.
I personally experienced a huge difference in myself and my anxiety when I started doing the BraveHeart breathing and conscious, like using the band, doing the mirror work, and the breathing were like the three main things that I started doing that were changing me drastically.
and we'll work with the breath and the cause, right?
Yeah, like it's really amazing. And I actually had to, one of my friends just got married before I came to Calgary, and she was like hyperventilating and everything. I was like, look at me, breathe, just breathe with me, because she was gonna pass out, vomit. We weren't sure what was happening, and she was perfectly fine like a few seconds before.
The
bride, yeah. She right before walking down. Right before walking down the aisle, I'm like, okay, look at me, just focus on your breathing. And then she was able to calm down. We gave her some water and she was good. But just being conscious of your breathing is amazing. Like, it's just how simple it is, and we don't pay attention to it.
Yeah, when we can come back to our breath, we actually think better too. Like our function is way better. Our thought communication is way better. We're going to be able to actually speak what we need to speak.
So there's a couple of people yawning over there. Let's ask questions. Anybody has questions? Go ahead.
So for doing laparoscopy. I mean, basically, what I'm thinking is doing that, creating more scar tissue. So I don't know, like for me, I had endometriosis, so
Endometriosis.
But creating
More scar tissue in the process.
So your question is, does laparoscopy create scar tissue?
My question is, I guess, don't do it.
Yes. So that's a question here. Not a question, a statement. Don't do laparoscopy. By Rose. Yes, it will create scar tissue, right?
Yeah.
For sure.
One of the biggest problems is we're all used to getting instant, right? We go to the doctor, they give me a pill, and I'm out of pain. I'm ready to dance, right? And I'm not feeling anything. But unfortunately, I just drowned out my GPS.
Yeah.
My body is unclear.
It's like cutting the wire for the check engine light. The problem's still there. You just cut the warning. The warning light isn't there now. So now that problem is just going to resurface in another way. Painkillers, they desensitize your central nervous system, so you're not receiving that signal of pain. Doesn't mean that the fire that was causing the pain is gone, and it's just going to resurface on another avenue. So we can keep doing a Band-Aid approach, or we can get to the root cause and put out the fires, which the majority is actually learning to nourish your large intestine and reduce the inflammation and the things that are causing it to be perforated and have holes. Thinking of it like a screen door in a submarine, which wouldn't be very productive because you'd be drowning. Your body's getting all sorts of excess waste going into the bloodstream that then affects the organs. So is it in your uterus? Is it in the ovaries? Well, they all have blood flow. So if there's excess toxins floating around in your blood, this is where the inflammation is coming from. Pretty much everybody has a congested liver nowadays. So it's like, are you doing anything to help upregulate your liver? Because it's filtering your blood every 3 minutes of every day. And it has a big job to do. And if it's congested, you're going to be getting, think of it like sewage backup throughout the body. So why are we inflamed? Why are we in chronic pain? Because we're not supporting that master organ for excretion.
That liquid can go any part of the body, especially the pelvic region.
Well, because gravity.
It goes, and then things happen. So it's very important. Next question.
So what effect does constipation have on
the rest of the system.
It's
The
kind of the main domino.
The question was, what does constipation have? What did on the rest of your body?
Constipation is like the first domino. If you have constipation, that's the beginning of inflammation, because constipation is simply not going regularly. And people think, oh, well, you know, I go once a day. It's like, okay, how many times do you eat a day? Are you eating 3 meals plus snacks? Because you should be having 3+ bowel movements a day. If you're, you know, it should coincide with how much you're eating. For most of us, like, it will go, but there was more, and then people will be straining, and then constipation can turn into compaction. So if you're thinking manure pile and you see that lovely juice that seeps from the bottom from it all just sitting there and piling up, well, that's very acidic. So you have that happening in your large intestine. Now there can be tissue degeneration from rot, along with the fact that most of us are having that screen door in a submarine, that leaking large intestine, and then it's all collecting and degrading the tissues at the bottom of the pelvis.
So when you strain, you will definitely create pelvic issues.
That
There's
tissue becomes,
no question about that one, because you will drop that pelvis, it will just collapse.
It's a root cause of hernias.
And then you get hemorrhoids and
hernias.
So we have to back up the bus and come and understand, how can we help our digestion? How can we help from here to there? Because that's where the problem lies. That's where the problem lies. If I'm not chewing right, and there's bigger pieces going down into my stomach, it's going to putrefy. And when it putrefies, now it's feeding the bad bacteria, the fungus, and the parasites. And the fungus, those are the worst guys, because they are the drill bit predators. They actually drill little holes in that digestive tract. And that's where we get the leaky large intestine, or what everybody else would call leaky gut.
Yeah, the fungus is meant to take you back into the earth, but we don't want to be in that state while we're still alive and trying to enjoy our life. But that stagnation creates the right environment for them to, they're already within you, but it creates the environment for them to proliferate and then do their job, which is to take you back into the earth, which we don't.
Yes, we're not ready.
Yeah.
Is it true that diarrhea is a form of constipation?
It is. See, what happens is you've been constipated for who knows how long. Long time, most of us, you know. But what your body does when you've been constipated too long, it's saying, oh my gosh, there's a 5-alarm fire here. We got to be able to do something. Bring on the fire trucks. We need lots of water. So it starts pulling water from wherever it can and going into the large intestine, and then you have an explosion. So I get a call. I was constipated until yesterday. What happened? I'm still eating the same thing. You know? And yes, you're right. You are still eating the same thing. But it's again coming back to honor your body. Yeah. How are you chewing? How are you food combining? How are you creating those meals?
Are you food combining?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Most people don't understand so much. Yeah. You know, and what things are actually bringing your vibration up, and what things are taking it away. I know that dairy, wheat, and sugar, those are taking my vibration away. Matter of fact, they are negative. You know, so for us to crawl out of a very negative hole, we got to do a lot of things.
Most of us are in a 20-foot hole, and we think a 5-foot ladder is going to get us out of that hole, or we think that 5-foot ladder 4 times is going to get us out of the hole. No.
You need a 21-foot hole.
A 21-foot ladder, to get out of that.
Minimum.
There are quite a few girls my age back home that I know who they're very, like, they look fit. If you look at them, they look healthy and everything, but they have had cysts or have endometriosis or anything. And it's like,
oh wow.
But from like 25 to 30, 19 to 30, like they all have these issues, but they physically look fit. But when I look at what they eat, it's like, no, you can't be eating all of this
They're
unhealthy food like constantly. and expect, like, yeah, you go work out, you do all this stuff, but your diet is so important. And then one of them recently went to get a cyst removed, and it's like now there's more scar tissue caused in the area. My other friend who has endometriosis, doctors don't know why she has, and they're like, oh, you're too young for us to do the test because it's too risky. So she's just left wondering, like, okay, like, she feels so out of touch with herself. And it's really sad to, like, see, but at the same time, when you do present people with the alternative information and, like, oh, you could do it naturally and all this stuff, they don't jump on it or take
the quick fix they're
yeah,
looking for.
It's all about how they look outside.
and it's like, okay, you could avoid this easily, but you look into it for 2 seconds, and then you're like, oh, I'm going to do the surgery, or just continue going to doctors, getting frustrated when it's like, we have solutions for you.
People like to turn to that when the medical system has no more solutions, and they pick the hardest time to actually play that catch-up game. Because if you think of your body like we have a bank account, and we spend and we spend and we spend without any thought that you can actually pay that back and restore that bank account. Like, youth isn't a thing that has to go as fast as it does. It's because your average North American poisons themselves 10 to 60 times a day. And for most people, it's closer to that 60 times a day, right?
I'd say even more than
even
that.
more.
Think
I'm trying to, like,
about the average woman. What
yeah,
are
this
you
is
doing
true.
in the morning?
Well, because
you're
from
so-
your beauty
you're-
care.
yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, from all your household products, from all the things that you think are self-care and looking after yourself, from your toothpaste, your soaps, your lotions, your makeup, your hair stuff, all of that stuff has endocrine disruptors. It has toxic petroleum byproducts, and we're putting it all over our body. Why is skin cancer growing? Oh, because those chemicals mixing with the sun, it actually causes the reactions, because the sun itself prevents cancer. But it does if you get it and you don't have petroleum-based creams on your face. Like, even sunscreen under a UV light will look black like tar, and you're spreading it on your skin. You have SPF blockers in a lot of the makeups that we'll wear. And then most of us are chronically dehydrated. So we're not hydrated and we're going out in the sun. You need to be hydrated, right?
And we're not nourished.
And we're not nourished. And we're having the white sugar, and the white sugar is causing the brown spots because it's what we're running our body off of. If we were eating a whole food, plant-based diet, and we had lots of fruits, which are hydrating, lots of vegetables, which are actually hydrating, we wouldn't have the same reactions to the sun. They want to keep you out of the sun because it gives you the vitamin D, which is a hormone modulator. It is not so much a vitamin. And then we're wondering why all our hormones are out of balance. So there's really simple things that when you become conscious of it, the influence you have on the expression of your genetics is really unlimited. It takes just wanting to know. You go, oh, that's too much effort. It's like, okay, then go experience the pain of the other system. And then eventually you're going to come back around to, oh, maybe I wish I had just chose to care for my temple, because it's not as difficult as we make it. If you just start with like one little step at a time, that becomes easy. Then you add another step in. My journey here has been like 14 years, and I learned little bits at a time. And I simply started with just youthful aging. I want to have that optimal expression of my genetics. And I started with foods, like just upgrading higher quality, nutrient dense foods. And then that got me to, hey, wait, the emotional side is what unlocks the power of. It amplifies the physical activity you do. It amplifies the nutrition and the nutraceuticals you do, because it brings the balance of it all together.
When we can really understand what we're doing and where our thoughts are going.
Schedule time for yourself.
You know, we all have these little guys to snap ourselves back to right now. And when you count backwards, you have to think about it.
I was just
So
thinking
again, that brings
Not
you
many.
back to the now.
How many of you first timer here for this kind of so many of you probably not know what we're talking about. So in Dr. Detox Daryl's protocol, he has this 3-to-1 band for
Life Love Band.
Yeah, life love band, and he does simple breathing techniques, simple exercises that you can manage yourself. And all that we cover in the pelvic restoration course. We go through it every day so that you, by the end of the 3 days, you know how to do it on your own. Because in the whole life course, there's so many people and there's so much to cover. The exercises are taught, but in our course, we'll teach you even, so you've got some of the basic knowledge, but if you have not done it before and it's your first time doing a course on this platform and you've not done whole life, non-surgical, doesn't matter. In this course, we'll show you how to do it. We'll show you how the exercise works. And you don't have to feel that, oh, I've never done any, I don't know what you're talking about. Never feel afraid to ask any questions about anything. This is for everyone. The beautiful thing about this course is that once you learn it, my dream is for you to share it with other women, the younger girls, the little ones, so that they don't go through what her friends have been through, what Lorraine went through for 18 surgeries. That is the goal. So the next generation, and immediate now, your friends, your daughter, your sister, your mother-in-law, your daughter, everybody need to know about it.
There was a question. Oh,
Yes.
was I going to say that?
Yeah.
There was another question that I had asked me was how young can girls take this course? And I would say it would be one, the comfort of the parent, like the mother that would be bringing the child. But the main question was at 13 and not quite at puberty yet. Would that be appropriate?
My dream is to have one day a mother and daughter course. When the child gets her first period or her second period, and I'm complaining, what am I doing? Before the child has a period, if the mother is educated, the mother can put the fear out. Like, we think it's a curse. To us, in Asia, it's a blessing to have your period. You get a chance for rejuvenation. In the West, it's a curse. I don't know. I did not know that. But anyway, so.
Or it's just not really talked about and dismissed.
Either way, we want the girls and young ladies to know that everything that's created in us has a purpose. Everything has a purpose. We are created perfect. Nothing needs to be changed. It's our job, our life duty to maintain that perfection by watching what we eat, what we think, what we do, judging. All that is not, it's going to give negative vibration to us. So my job, my response is to take care of my body, what was given to me in perfection. I want to return it back in perfection. So if you think when you were a child, you could squat. Now you're 35, you can't squat. We will get you back to squatting before you hit 36. How's that? So just it's all about practice, working, doing the work, doing the job, honoring yourself and getting the work done for yourself. You had a question, Michelle.
What is the long-term effects of various kinds of birth control on women's bodies?
Birth control pill?
Yeah, what are the long?
IUDs?
Yes, it's dangerous. I'm sorry. Yes, it's I read. In fact, I was looking through the article about birth control pills. I wish it never happened, but it can cause issues. Definitely cause issues. Endometriosis. It can create incontinence. You could lose your libido. You could lose your I don't know how long you take it, right? Different people, it affects differently.
I was just saying the list is this long. I know for me that it caused me to gain a ton of weight. I only was on it for 2 months and I'm like, I don't know who I am because emotionally I was all over the place too. I was 19 and I did that for 2 months and a few people were like, who are you and where's Alicia? And I was like, yeah, no, this is good. So I just, I chose to do other things. I'm like, it's not worth what it did to my body.
What you just said, I have a friend whose daughter, she called me and said, hey, my daughter is mean. I said, what do you mean? She went to college, she went on the pill and never told me. And she come back from summer holidays now. She's nasty, she's cranky, she's angry. That's not her. I said, is she on the pill? I don't know. So she's going to ask her daughter. Yeah, why? I'm on the pill, so what? I go, oh. I say, yeah, it does. It affects everybody differently. So it can, for her, that was a tilt. And I don't know, she said she's on top of her into thinking about other ways. It's negative, it's detrimental.
I will say that was also my experience. I was on the birth control pill for 5 years straight, no breaks, and coming off of it and cleaning up my diet and doing all the detox stuff, because it was just before I got into all of that I stopped the pill. I noticed such a huge difference, and I realized how nasty I would get when I was on the pill. And I was like, that wasn't me, but I didn't realize it at the time. And when my mom would tell me, oh, you need to like say I'm being rude, I'm just like, you're my mom, like you're gonna say that. But now looking back, I see how much it affected my emotions. And being on the
messing with your hormones.
Yeah, I didn't realize that at the time, to be honest. I didn't know much about it. I got it to regulate my period because it was so irregular, but then I cleaned up my diet and everything, and I'm like, oh,
your period.
It was so simple.
Because that's a big thing.
So
We're taking in all those inflammatory things, and one amazing thing about being a woman is with the period, you will get rid of a lot of your worst toxins with that flow in order to keep this area pristine to grow a baby. So when you clean up the diet, you will notice that will get a lot lighter, and even days can be shorter because you don't have as much to get rid of. And then you can be like, oh, you hardly notice it, instead of being like, I'm on the couch for 3 days and I can't move, or I've got so much pain. It's amazing what we can actually.
It can affect the childbirth, the way the baby is born. It can affect the birth itself. I have a great gynecological friend who is a pediatric gynecologist. She said a lot of the issues that she gets from clients, from patients, have been on the pills for many years. The child is born, difficulty in birthing, difficulty in something wrong with the child during the birth, and my mother, and she said many issues. I can't say much because we're on Facebook Live, so they better keep it as across.
There was a question.
Oh, more of a comment. Well, yeah, kind of. So I guess it would then have menopause also. Yeah.
That's what I was going to say. Menopause, you should be able to. You should be able to breeze right through it, and over a period of time, the period will stop, but probably not until you're in your 60s. Like I had menopause for 20 years.
And then you got it back. Is that what you're saying?
My period?
Yeah.
No, I had a hysterectomy.
Oh, okay.
But no, I was pushed into menopause at 36.
Wow.
Is that because of the cancer?
Yeah, the chemotherapy, I'm sure. Yep. Yeah.
Exercise can help with menopause. Exercise is important. Sunshine, natural air, exercise is important. Diet,
and
lifestyle.
again, honoring your body,
Early
honoring
morning,
this
early
beautiful,
morning,
beautiful vehicle that we're driving around in for the rest of our life. It's the only body we have for this life. So why are you letting it rust?
And I was going to say,
why aren't the brakes working properly?
Yeah.
Why aren't you putting oil in it?
The symptoms that come with menopause can be reduced, and I mean, depending who you are, completely eliminated, because a lot of it is your body's going, oh, we can't get rid of these toxins anymore, let's turn up the heat. So you'll have those temperature fluctuations because your body is trying to burn off the toxins it used to slough off with the period. And yes, that may have been painful, but your body was moving a lot out.
Yeah.
I remember talking with my mother-in-law. She passed away at 104.
Wow.
And I remember talking to her about menopause. She said she never had it. But she lived on a farm. They grew all of their what they ate. Everything was right there.
Yeah.
And she just did life simple. And she was a beautiful, very calm, grounded lady.
Wow.
So 104.
Yeah.
No menopause. And she had 8 children.
Wow.
That's
we could go back to those years, right?
That's a lot of children.
Any more questions?
I noticed that a lot of doctors put young women on birth control to regulate their acne, and then that's another way that they, get birth control into their system, just for acne. Because I was even prescribed at one point to take birth control for acne, but I declined it. But so many people do use it for acne treatment.
It's sad because when a child or a young lady goes to the doctor for acne, the doctor does not know about nutrition. The doctor never asks, what's your diet like? What do you eat? So what do they do? The easiest way is, here's the pill that will help you, or some antibiotics that will get rid of the acne. So it's always some pharmaceutical product that's prescribed, which is the easiest way for them to help. They think that healing the patient by giving them the prescription of the pill or antibiotics or anything. But we come back to the basic of what goes in here will create havoc in here, and havoc in here, and havoc in here, and that's what happens.
We have the highway to hell. It's the highway to health, or the highway to
HE double hockey sticks.
HE double hockey sticks. Well, we want it to be the highway to health. So and it's not even to say that you have to be 100% perfect all the time. If you're in a chronic stage of inflammation, you need to have consistency for a time. But then there are times when you can have.
That's awesome.
Well, you can enjoy. You
can poison yourself a little bit.
Yeah, it's like you can poison yourself a little bit, but it's more like the intention you eat it with. So instead of hanging yourself on a hook for that, but you want to bring the body back to balance before you're doing that. Because if it's like once a week, well, it's going to take you a long time to completely extinguish that inflammation. So really, it's a case-by-case basis. And then your sensory acuity comes back, which is really what is your body's own sensibility and being able to be like, hey, this is I can't have as much of that poison anymore. I can have this little bit, and that might have been good, or it might be like, oh, I totally regret that. And so your way of assessing, like the way you used to eat, it would be like, oh, I can't believe I could actually eat that before.
Part of the problem is we are not even thinking.
No, we're numbed out
on how our body is actually telling us things. Like if I'm feeling bloated, something putrefied.
That's feedback.
If I've got gas, something really putrefied, more than just here. And we're not honing in on that. The body's beautiful GPS.
Right. Yeah. I was gonna say, do we have any last questions?
Any more questions? Yeah.
What creates a fibroid?
Pardon?
What creates a fibroid?
What creates
It's
a fibroid?
the calcium that becomes crystallized, that becomes a mass, and it can be from eating meat and not being able to digest it properly.
But it can be from stress.
Yeah.
Emotional.
It's a storage shed of what your body cannot process, whether it's on an emotional level, a physical level. It can be a combination of both. But for sure, your liver's backed up because now your body's making a little garbage pile, and it likes the breasts because that's fatty tissue, and our body stores waste in fat cells, in cellulite. That's why we get that. That's just a sign of inflammation that your body's not able to process. So the big key is, again, learning to get rid of the emotional constipation, getting rid of the physical constipation, and learning a strategy that works for you for honoring your temple and doing house cleaning and doing it because you love yourself, not because you have to. Because again, emotionally, that's very low. Oh, I have to do this. Here we go again. Or it's like, this is my time to care for and honor myself. And again, it's your structure of thinking as well.
Our thoughts.
Something very simple. A smile.
Yes.
A smile is free. A smile changes. You have a question?
Not to interrupt.
No.
So this seems like men need all this same advice, except for, a little bit different in this area. But
yes,
like, is there a course that for all this?
I tell you what,
there probably will be.
There will be.
Yeah.
Daryl is working on one that's focused for men, but the BraveHeart circles are big.
We had men in the course in this lecture before in Barrie, and it was very interesting. I like men being in the course in the lecture. Next time we will not only for women, because it helps the men to understand the wives.
To support them.
We had a man who said to his wife, "You have to do this course," and he was there and made his wife sign up for the course. So it was good.
He had a better understanding of
Yes.
what his.
And he's going to go back home and tell this. There's another guy that I will go home and tell my wife about this course, about this. Even if they did not take action, the message is in his head. He knows it exists. One day he may say, "Hey, look at this, check this out." Oh, it came on, just some messages going out to the men, to the women, to young girls. It's important, it's necessary, because your pelvic health is what keeps you alive. It's the energy in you that you need to know how to regenerate.
It's the foundation of your vitality.
It's our root chakra.
We've
The
also
holy grail of our power.
we also have the pain-free pregnancy coming out really soon.
Yeah.
So without the pelvic course, with the pelvic course, you can have pain-free pelvis, pain-free pregnancy. For sure, right?
Exactly.
It's a marriage made in heaven. It's a hand-to-hand together. So the pelvic health is vital for all women. And men, yes, for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but they would just get different symptoms and things.
Yeah, and they have less warning bells than we do.
For men, it's easy. Because I teach men privately, one-on-one. So I know that men get it first. They don't understand the women issues, but when you teach the man his health, his pelvic, his prostate, his scrotum, and where his is, right? He understands pelvic health and appreciates more the woman, our issues, because they don't know how to engage the right muscles as well.
And the circulation issue that they can come with. I mean, what is erectile dysfunction if not a circulation issue? And that is a growing issue for men. And it comes back to a leaking large intestine, because their reproductive organs are down here just like ours are down here. So if you're having issues in that area, it's going to be from that similar root cause of inflammation of the large intestine.
Interesting. It's really amazing for you all to come here and share this information, listen to us talking about the course. And please log on to BraveHeartNation.com. We have a library full of information.
All you have to do is put your email in and make a password, and then you can listen to The Highway to Health. You can listen to I Am Woman. You could listen to
Holy Crap.
Holy Crap. Or for the men, the Meat and Potato Man.
Yeah.
And kind of learn where some of the dysfunction in the gut and the symptoms it can lead to, which are pretty much any dis-ease. Its root cause is here because your immune system is under stress and you're chronically inflamed, right?
Any more questions?
I do have another one. Is meat like something that you would say don't eat or stay away from, or?
I would never say never do
I would never
anything.
say don't eat it.
No.
It would be look
Listen
for
to
the
your
highest
body.
qualities.
Listen to your body.
Yeah.
Listen to your body. And if you have to eat meat these days, we recommend organic cows, right?
Grass-fed
cows.
or organic, right? You want them to have had the least amount of antibiotics. I don't think you could truly get antibiotic free anymore. And when you eat it, it might be once in a while, and it's not bigger than like literally the palm of your hand. Anything.
And this depends on your blood type. Some blood type
can process way better.
Can process meat better than others, and your body will crave for that meat. Then you have to honor that craving and accept and take it, have it, and you'll feel better. I've met many people and dined with people. Oh, I had meat today. Take it, have it, and it's
quality.
I feel better. Great. You want to enjoy your food and not say, I want meat, but I have to eat vegetables. My wife says I have to eat vegetables, but then I'm like, I'm not enjoying it. What's the point?
I could share a story with that. Like my partner, when I first suggested like plant-based, he's like, I'll never get rid of meat. Now he might eat it once in a week. He might eat it once every couple weeks, but he actually notices how much better when it's in his diet less often. Not to say that he has to go without it, but he's had huge improvements in his digestion and things he observed in himself. So when it's good quality, it is organic, it is grass-fed. Yes, it's more expensive, but when you're doing it less often, you can still get the nutrition available there from the higher quality sources versus eating the stuff that's factory farmed, that has no love, that's full of adrenaline, that,
Yeah.
Or bless your food. That's another good strategy.
Yeah, and then
Bless your food. Chew it.
Chew it.
40
Chew it
times.
and
Chew
eat
each bite
food
40
like-
times. Yeah.
Appreciate the food.
Yeah.
So when you're eating,
I have another question.
Yeah.
sure, go ahead. We love questions.
Okay, this bill that's coming through about the natural
Yeah.
Supplements.
supplement, yeah, I can't quite remember exactly.
It's already pushed through.
Yeah, I don't know the effective date, but is that an issue?
I don't know, I'm not Canadian.
2025, I think.
Thank goodness I'm not
It's set
Canadian.
for, I think it'll get overturned before it truly comes into effect. But if we all
it will happen.
if we all get on board with starting to be the change we want to see and stop supporting the system that's actually trying to take all of this away,
Yes. Yes, I'm with her.
we can change that before it were to become a reality, because they tried to take them away 20 years ago and they did not succeed. So if we have a strong enough and loud enough voice, and we're not running to the doctor because we have a sniffle, and we're not running to the doctor because we have symptoms of inflammation, and we start taking those baby steps and being conscious of, hey, my body is able to heal. I choose to facilitate that. I'm not depriving myself of anything. It's still there. I can go have that chocolate bar if I want to, or I can go have that whatever it is. But I'm choosing not to right now because I have a goal of putting out the fires in my body. Once I have, it's like I can have that as a treat. We call it a treat, but we have a let ourselves off the hook day. Right? Like, or you get to a point where you don't even want it anymore. That's the thing.
You come to understand when your body is feeling good,
Understand.
and when your body is not feeling good. Yes, you get the understanding.
But when you've taken the time and the discipline to do the house cleaning and you go back to some of those foods you used to love so much, you'll go, oh,
yeah,
that does not taste how I remember it, because, like I said, your sensory acuity, the taste buds and the messages that get sent, they change because you got off of the food enhancing chemicals put into a lot of the foods that make it taste better. And when you get that, the true taste back, you actually notice how good living vegetables and fruit and things with life force and high frequency actually taste.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Do you recommend anything like kefir?
You know, when we are actually honoring our body and supporting it, we don't absolutely have to do that. Like some people will, and some people will be doing like a ferment every single day, twice a day, 3 times a day. But when we can actually honor our body, and you know, the black gold is an amazing product that we have. And it actually supplies the nutrition for the good microbiome.
The prebiotics.
So the good microbiome flourish. So you don't need to be on prebiotics, probiotics, or on, because that is still foreign to the body. Yes, it's good bacteria, but it's still foreign to the body.
Mm-hmm.
What we're doing is, with the black gold, is we're allowing the body to do what it's supposed to do. We're nourishing where it needs the nourishment. And now the body does what it's supposed to do.
We're giving back what's missing in the vegetables from the overuse of petroleum fertilizers and things like the glyphosates and the other pesticides that have killed the microbiome in the soil. When you take the black gold, you're giving your body what's missing in the food. So now you're going to be getting more nutrient absorption, plus the added nutrients, plus the
balance your hormones.
Yeah.
It's good for balance. It's right here. That's black gold.
At the back next with the Ultimate Coffee Enema Kit.
Where's your product come from? How do you know
It's from Alberta. It comes
Drumheller.
from Drumheller, and it is the ancient plant life. And then what's very special about the Doctorate Detox, because I had been using humic acid, like humic fulvic products, since I was 22, various ones. Theirs are all mechanically processed. They are not chemically processed, and they quality test all of them. So there's not the impurities, or as many impurities as there would be in ones that are.
That's black gold. That's black diamond.
Yeah.
This is black gold.
Like
This is the, yeah, oh yeah. This is the raw product that the black diamond is made from. So this really works on the intestinal tract. I add it to smoothies. I will grind it down finer and add it to
If you
food.
drink coffee, put it to your coffee.
You should put it in your coffee. It balances the acidity. And
No taste.
and there's no taste. Well, if anything, it's a flavor enhancer because the minerals are what give food flavor. And we add lots of salt, and usually not the right salt to our food. This, yeah, like even in your smoothie, it enhances the natural flavors that are there because you're actually getting more nutrition. So guess what? You're not going to eat as much. You're going to be more nourished,
Satisfied.
especially if you're taking that smoothie and you're chewing that smoothie. You're letting it mix with your saliva and not just gulping it down, because the first stage of digestion is actually in the mouth. And having the saliva mix, and just by chewing that food and taking the time to grind, it actually upregulates digestion. You're going to digest it more fully. You're going to get more nutrients from what you're eating. This one here works on the bloodstream. And so now you're going to be chelating heavy metals. You're going to be delivering nutrition and just not turning on the digestive tract. So if you're intermittent fasting, if you're advanced water fasting,
There's an advanced water fasting coming up.
you're going to be, yeah.
Right? So if anyone you are interested to try it, get on BraveHeart Nation. There's an advanced water fasting coming on next week, right?
And you can jump in the library and read the guide.
There's a new updated guide, so it'll be great if you want to do it.
We're going to sign off of here, though, I think. So everybody watching, thank you for joining
Anybody?
us.
Anybody else? No more questions? We'll have to sign off because I think we're...
Hey, you start taking the products and you're wondering what's going on inside here, just call Alicia. I called her and I went, I'm thinking going through menopause again, I don't want to do it the second time. She goes, no, that's the healing. Okay.
Yeah. Totally.
It starts pulling stuff out.
All right. So I think she's going to do someone volunteer for the. Shall we sign
Yeah,
up on the Facebook?
We
now?
sign up on the Facebook, but thank you for joining us, everybody.
Thank you for
Thank
joining
you.
us.
You got this.
You got this.